Hi, my lightnings. How are you doing today? Welcome back to Luminosity. This is episode 2, and I want to talk today about meditation. So, I've had a lot of experiences in my long life, which I will talk about over time. And I have spoken to a lot of people, and I have experienced and trained and worked with and studied a bit about meditation. I'm definitely no expert at all. And a lot of times people hear the word meditation and they're just like, no, no thanks. I can't do it. I tried it. My brain won't be quiet. I can't sit still for long enough. Things like that, right? And you know what? I think we've all been there. Everyone has been there, okay? So what I want to say about meditation is that meditation is really about focusing. That is what it's about. It's about focusing. Okay, it's really that simple. And there are a lot of meditations out there. Actually, I should say, well, yes, there are a lot of different types of ways to meditate. Okay, a lot. And there's no right way. Okay, there has been a ton of, let's call it publicity, for certain types of meditation. Okay, but that doesn't mean that those types of meditations that are all over the place that you're hearing about or reading about are the right ones for you. Okay, so what I encourage you to do, if you are interested in finding focus in your life, in finding some quiet, in finding maybe some peace, hopefully some peace, and some answers. If you want to try this, if you want to know what it's about, if someone else told you about it, is to try to find what works best for you. And this might take some research. But the goal of meditation is the focus, and it's the feeling. And I don't believe that anyone has the right to tell someone else how to feel. Okay? So you will know when you have experienced meditation. Okay? It's not for anyone else to tell you. There are teachers out there who will guide you. There are coaches out there. There's tons of articles. There's books. You name it. It's out there. Okay? So explore that. I'll tell you some of the types of meditation that I've done over time. One of my favorite types of meditation is a walking meditation. Yep, you can do meditation while you're walking. You can do meditation while you're doing almost anything, actually. Okay, so there's this idea that you're supposed to like sit there with your eyes closed and nothing in your mind. That doesn't always work for me. I don't have one of those minds that can do that. And that's why they call it monkey mind, right? So I love to do walking meditation. And you meditate while you walk. And I have done this many times, and you can look it up. But, you know, I focus on my walking. I focus on my breathing. And I go to a place inside of me. while I'm doing it, and I keep a rhythm when I'm walking that helps me get to that place. You can also do an eating meditation. You can meditate while you're eating, which I talk to a lot of people about. So I am a therapist by trade. That's my job. And I often talk to people about becoming aware of how they feel when they eat and how to chew and what they're feeling when they're chewing, and to slow everything down and to really, really get into your senses when you're eating. And it's amazing what happens when somebody does that, when I do that, because somehow along the lines of my life, I learned to literally inhale my food. I barely chew. If you can count the numbers of times you chew, it's probably under 5 for most bites. And if you try chewing 20 times and really focusing on everything while you're chewing, it's a different experience. And that can be a meditation. I often meditate by chanting. So there is a lot of different ways to chant. You can chant with your eyes open. You can chant with your eyes closed. I chant in front of something called a Gahansan, which is basically a type of mandala. And I chant the words Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, which is about the law of cause and effect, and about being courageous and victorious and overcoming obstacles. But I've used other mantras over time that I've enjoyed, and the mantra that speaks to you is the one that works for you. And there are tons of mantras out there, and sometimes they're in another language and sometimes they're in your language. So that's another one that I've done. I have done sitting meditations. I have sat cross-legged. I have sat on my knees. I have used a pillow. I have not used a pillow. I have counted my breaths. I focused on my breaths. I have focused on my heartbeat. I have focused on my third eye. I have kept my eyes open and looked at a candle. I have kept my eyes closed and focused on my breathing. I recently learned about a meditation that Gabby Bernstein talked about. Well, actually, Martha Beck talked about it in her interview with Gabby Bernstein. Now, I told you in the last episode, I'm on a Gabby Bernstein kick, and this is from the same episode. And it's, which was March 21st, 2022, from Dear Gabby podcast. I love Gabby Bernstein, and I love Martha Beck. And I haven't read Martha Beck's stuff, but this one interview was just mind-blowing. And I love sharing things that blow my mind because I hope that it helps other people. So Martha Beck talks about this meditation, and one of the things I love about Gabby Bernstein is that she expresses herself in a way that's very authentic and real, and I find it easily understandable. And she talks a lot about her feelings emotionally, and also her feelings in her body. So she has a meditation practice that she's had since she was very young that was taught to her by her mother. And she talks about the feelings, the bodily feelings that she has when she meditates. And, a lot of times when I've been taught about meditation, I've been taught about my mind or how my body's supposed to be sitting, and not so much about my feelings. And when I heard it from Gabby Bernstein, a light clicked off for me. And so I usually meditate by chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. And But I decided to do a sitting meditation, and focusing on a candle with my eyes, just slightly open. And the reason for that is because sometimes my brain needs something to focus on in order to let go. Okay. And so I did this meditation this morning, actually. And I thought, okay, well, I haven't done a sitting meditation in a really long time, so I'm going to do it for like 5 minutes and see what happens. And so I took 3 deep breaths. I had the candle in front of me, and I started to focus on my feelings. And it was amazing, because that's the way I experience the world, is through a lot of feelings. And I felt like I was flying. It was amazing. I only think I felt this maybe once before, but it was an amazing feeling and I loved it. And I had this mantra in my head, which is, I am light, I am love. And so I would sort of in my head, I ping pong between observing the candle, saying I'm light, I am love, and feelings, what I was feeling, this feeling of flying. And this brings me back to the Martha Beck meditation that she taught Gabby Bernstein, which I want to share, which is called the Surrender Allow meditation. And the reason I bring this up is because the word surrender is a very powerful word. And when I started the sitting meditation this morning, did I tell you it went on for 20 minutes? I meditated for 20 minutes. I had no idea. I literally thought I was in it for like 7 minutes, maybe 6. So when I first felt that feeling, like it was an emotion, and it was a release, and it was like a joyous feeling, and I got scared. And I thought about what Martha Beck had said, this surrender allow meditation. And I said, I need to surrender this, and I need to allow. I need to surrender to this, and I need to allow. And so that's what I did. And the more I surrendered and the more I allowed, the bigger the feeling got. And that's how I was there for 20 minutes, and I almost didn't want to come back. So what Martha Beck says in this episode is the Surrender Allow meditation can help people feel supported when they're flying. And I probably didn't say that totally right, because she explains it better in the episode, so please go watch it. But what she says is, when you breathe out, you surrender all resistance to everything being the way it is now. And when you breathe in, you allow everything in the universe to be as it is right now. Okay? So you breathe out and you surrender all your resistance. And you breathe in and you allow. And you breathe out and you surrender. And she says that the first thing that we did in life was breathe in and allow the universe to be as it is. And the last thing we'll do in life is breathe out and surrender. And so that every time we breathe in, we're reborn. And every time we breathe out, we are surrendering and letting go. And I love that image. I just love it. So that's all for today. I wish you light and love today, and I'll talk to you next time.